Hello peeps, how's everybody doing? I am Adriana and this is Color by Adri. Today I bring you the second episode of Masters Soft Oil Pastels, and the subject today is going to be fantasy skin. I'm using Wildflower Folk by Kristen Karen, and the page is going to be Faye. I'm also going to be using my 24 set of soft oil pastels, the Del Green, and I'm not quite sure which ones I'm going to be using on this one, but I will also be using the Artistic Gallery Mungio oil pastels, and this is a 25 assorted colors. You will also need an eraser. You're going to need a brush to brush away debris, Q-tips, and you also need some scrap paper. So let's start with this. So I'm gonna do her in purple, like a purple fairy. Let's go about it. So first I'm gonna start with this one, since I know the colors on these ones are still very soft. They don't have that much pigment on, so I'm gonna start with this one. And let's see, I hope it's not going to take too long, but we're going to go about her face and just a little bit, like going through forehead. Remember, it's better to work in sections. And like I said in my other video, but in case you haven't seen it, I use Q-tips. You could use whatever method of blending that you feel better with. In this case, I use Q-tips. One is harder and the other part is softer. I like the harder part because I can control it better. So I'm coming here and I start mixing it. I'm trying to just leave it very thin, like maybe just the pigmentation of the soft oil pastel. And she's becoming very soft. It doesn't matter with this purple if you go out to the out of the forehead into the hair, because her hair is going to be purple in this case, so it will be okay. We continue doing more over here. It's this part, I still got a little bit on here. I'm going to try to use that so not to waste this. And remember, this is a technique that I have been developing over the last couple of months, and I'm still figuring things out, but I think I sort of have it figured out on some areas. And the best part of this is that if I make an error, like if I make a mistake, it's possible to be fixed. So that's the good thing about this over here. I think it's her cheek. It's the little bit of her cheek. I don't want to go over her lip. So these areas are very delicate to work, because you got to make sure you don't cover something that you don't want to cover. And since I don't want to do the lips purple, I want to do them pink, I just kind of go soft about it. Now we continue here just a little bit. And again, soft. Go. And she has some sort of leaves in here, and that's fine if I cover them because I can come back with pencils and redefine them and make them look better. So right now it's just going over like a very thin layer, maybe just leaving the leaving a very light layer of the sulfur pastels. And many people have been asking, how do I seal it? And I use a spray once everything is done, like I've done with everything, you know, pencils on top, whatever details I'm going to add. Once everything is done, then I use a spray, a fixative spray, and I do it on my balcony. That way I can, you know, I can cover my face and then spray it and then turn around and come inside and close the balcony door and then let it sit there for a few minutes till it evaporates the smell out of the balcony, and then I go back and get it, and it's a quick dry, so I don't have to worry about waiting forever to dry because it's a quick dry. Let's continue with her shoulders. I'm going to try not to touch too much about here because I want to make this kind of greenish, even though I want to make this greenish too. But I think I can. I think I can do it. So go down her spine. I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want to get it ahead of myself. So just come in and just, and this is the same technique I use for everything. But I think the more you do it, the better you will get at it. I'm transferring a little bit from here to here. It's not taking it, not much anyway. Anyway, so it's the same technique. So if you practice with me or by yourself or, you know, over and over, soon you'll be able to feel how much of a layer you need to leave into the paper, how much you need to work it in, how much of a pressure you need to have for it to come in, and you start getting it. Maybe the first time is not going to be that great, or maybe not that blended, because you still may be afraid of, you know, blending too much. But then the more you do it, the more you feel, you get like your hand get married to your fingers, and you feel it in your hands, like extension of your hand. Then you can start getting better at it. I mean, nobody's born with this and knowledge of to do things. We are sometimes born with the talent, but not with the technique knowledge. So that's something that we all need to learn. And like I said, this is a technique that I have been developing, and I don't know of anybody that does it this way. And if there's somebody that has been doing this before and it's not really mine, then let me know. But I think that the way I do it is a complete different way that other people do it. See, let's put a little more over here. And we'll go later over these things and start adding the shadows, which is it's fun when you start seeing it going from flat to rounded edges, rounded corners, like contours. It's always fun. I always like it when things start coming to life. It's one of my favorite things about doing portraits is that it starts really flat and then it starts developing just this beautiful uh, creature that's almost coming out live, live from the page. And that's one of the aspects of coloring that I most enjoy and really, really love. That feeling when you first put the first part of the color in there, and it's just not much, but once you start seeing the little girl come alive, that part is just amazing. I really love it. So it's not much of an explanation here, just soft layers, and just picking up whenever you see like there is something that is not even, just go back and then just pick it up with it, and then go back, just soft. I'm just doing like regular circle strokes to it, and I am actually touching the paper. I am not lifting it up. I'm actually touching it, and the wax of the sulfur pastel is actually sticking to the cuttings swab with Q-tip. Just here, and I don't care that I put too much purple into this because I am actually going to come on top with pencils, and that's going to give it more definition. Okay. Delicate so you don't come out of your lines. You could, because the part of this is erasable. I mean, it doesn't take everything off, but it does take most of it off. And I might combine with this, I might do a combination of sulfur pastels plus pencil work, and I will probably come for these little flowers, these little details. I will probably come in with alcohol markers. And you're not trying to go all over, because I'm gonna give definition to the fingers with a darker pencil to define these fingers and these hands better. So I'm really not trying like to cover the whole hand, I'm not trying to do that. Okay, so we got a really basic layer of the first color. Okay, so now we're gonna start giving more definition, and we're gonna go with this one, and it is I take some of this thing off, and it is a deeper, darker purple. So for that, I'm gonna go like on the edges, and I really don't care because I think I'm gonna make this hair purple. So if it touches the hair, it's okay. And then I'm gonna come here to the ear, and then in the inside of the ear, and then here, And then I'm going to come over here, just a little bit of touches in here. And then I'm going to go down the spine of her. And I don't want to go too much because I don't want to get overwhelmed of everything that I need to blend in. So I come in here and then I'm pushing it from the outer part to the inner side like this. I'm pushing it, moving my there. I come in here and I'm going to start working it here. And if you're enjoying this series and then you have ideas of what else would you like to do with soap oil pastels, and what is it that you would like to see me work on, let me know and I will definitely include it into my series. This is a series that's going to come out every Monday at noon. And so you can expect every Monday at noon there will be a new episode of this soap oil pastels. Okay, so then I have it there. So whenever you see like it's coming out too much, so you come back with the original color and then put it a little bit in here and then blend it. And that gives it a better blend. See, like it's like leaving a line in here. So I want to come in here and do this. And then I come in here. And as you can see, it starts fading better. Like this ear is also it cuts up too much. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to mix it. And then it start to giving that softness and that fade from one color to the other. Again, in here, it's too much. Put it in here and just fade it into the skin. Okay. Let's do the same to the spine, back of the spine, and just all right. So we're going to do. So let's put it onto a chart. We haven't done that. So we started for skin. We started with this color. So it's like a light. It's called gray rose, but I feel it's more like a lilac. And then for shadows, we went with this one. Which in this one, it is called Christmas Lake, which is basically a purple. So for the cheeks, we're gonna go with a pink. And I have this one. So I got this one, but this one has some blue in it. Okay, so now I have a little better control. And I'm gonna just rub some off. Because I don't want any debris, any stuff stuck to it. So I got this pink one, and I'm just gonna go lightly. We're gonna start with a little bit, okay? On her cheek, just a little bit. And we're gonna blend it in. Okay. And then we're gonna start blending it in. Giving her those rosy cheeks that I love so much. Let's add more. So let's go from here to there. And then soft circular motions. Go under her eyelashes. And you can see it's starting to fade away, but it's still leaving that basic rosiness to her cheeks. Let's do it one more time. Let's add it more, like more over here. And let's do from this side, soft, soft, soft. And if you can start seeing the circles from you doing the circular motions in here, just come with a little bit of that one in here, and then you can start mixing it together. And there you can see you have her cheek. Now let's work on her. Let's do a little bit of on her little cute chin, and from the top, there, from the very top. And let's do also a little bit of her nose, just a touch. It's just a touch. And let's go again from the top. Let's do it. And I'm not gonna wait, maybe I should, like, let's do this, darken this area here, in this area here. You could do the same one. You could use the same one since it's pinkish, so it's gonna be okay. And let's just mix it up. And the same here. And let's use this one that has a little bit of purple. There. So now that we have that, let's come with more shadows. Let's do this part. Okay, and let's get a fresh one. Okay, so this one looks like it's too soft, so this one is harder. We want a harder part. And let's push it inwards. We push it inwards. There we go. There. So now we have like that. Now let's come here to the shoulders. And I want a little bit of pink and a little bit of purple on the shoulders. So let's start with the pink, because I want her shoulders to be kissed. So let's come with a little bit here. And I have this one here, which is the softer side. And then I'm going to be coming. And that gives them a little bit of a kiss. And then I'm going to come in here in this side. And in this side. And I'm going to put just a little bit. And I'm going to just mix it. This one into the neck. And this one, let's get a new one. And because I want this to be really good, so I want a really firm one. So like soft, soft, soft. Like I don't want to touch it too much. So like that. And then we're gonna come here. So we're gonna do this part. And let's continue. Let's do this one. And I'm kind of going inward, like circular motions and going inward, like toward the arm. And now let's do this part. Also go inward. Go inside her elbow. Soft. And let's do this part right here, and then this one right here. Let's also work inside. And because this is a gray scale, you know, you'll see some, when you're working on it, you'll see some of the gray areas, and this is kind of covering them. So, you know, and again here, yes, it's just a very thin line that I'm putting, and I'm pushing it in. It kind of looks like lines. So, yeah, pushing it in, and then I'm going to go over. There you go. Same here in this area. I'm going to come here. And then I'm going to come with the best one I could have here. This one. And then I'm going to push it in. This little leaf, I don't want to touch that one because that's going to be green. And there. And now let's do just a little bit. Just a little bit, and then we'll rub it in just like that. Same thing in this one. Just to give that little bit of a shadow. We don't want too much of a shadow, but yeah, like a little bit. Again, very soft. Don't worry though, when you come in with the pencils, whatever mistakes you're making is gonna be okay. It's gonna be fixed. Soft. And okay. A little bit there. Okay, so now I wish I had a very light pink, but I don't have a light pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with, okay, let's put this one here again. So we use this one for the cheeks. So I'm going to clean this white and then come in on top with pink. So it could be very light pink. So, right layer of white. So I'm going to start mixing this white, and it's just, this layer is just so when I put the pink, it doesn't go so strong. So that's what it is for. So it's kind of like a mix before a mix, if I can make sense of that. It just, I don't want it. I don't want the pink to come in so strong. I believe that there is some areas here that need to be purple. Okay. So now let's come with a little bit of pink. Like this, like a very little pink. And let's work this in. So I want her wings to be airy, like delicate and soft. And to do that, I need the white. Because if not, they're going to come out very pink. And I don't have a big set. If I had a big set to where I had a light pink, then I would go about it that way. And it starts looking like rough, but don't worry, because when it gets to be too much like that, all you gotta do is come in here. Like there was enough white here to do that. Let's mix it up here. Okay. Let's do this over here. And all of this get more definition when we put the pencil in. So it might not be very pretty at first, and you might start to feel like I messed up. It's not gonna be good, but that is not really the case. And here's where you can tell that my style is different than other people. It's because I am working this as trying to get rid of it and not trying to even it out. That is the biggest difference between what I do and what other people do. I'm not trying to leave a thick layer of pastels in here. I'm trying to leave a residue of tint, if that makes any sense. Okay. Okay, so now her wing looks very light and airy. So now I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna do 1 or 3 in here, and I'm gonna mix it up with the white, just like I did here, just so as to not have that very heavy pink that I have in there. Even though I already put a light layer of white, there is still the possibility of this getting to be very pinky. That's not what I want. Again, we start kind of in the process of making this a very thin layer and to make it a very soft pink. This is a different material. These ones are wood here, and this is not wood. That's why this doesn't feel as firm. Okay, I need to continue buying this type. Soft. The type of Q-tip is different. I think I paid about the same price for them, so, but I bought them in 2 different stores. So that might be the difference between one and the other, because this is kind of bending. Let's see if I got another one of this. So I got another one. Yeah, these ones are firmer. Okay, we're almost done covering the wings. And now we're gonna go to the hair. So for the hair, I also want to do this one, but I want to give pink highlights. So let's do that. So let's start with this part, because I want to do pink highlights. So I'm gonna go. Okay, let's see it. soft and inner part. When you go to those edges, you try to go to the inside, like work it toward the inside, like push it in. Push it in. Some of these things might have to be done with the markers because some of these things are going to be green. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist in this area because there is too many things that get on the way, but I just want to put a little bit of color in there because when I come back with the pencils, then I can revise this section with pencils and deepen these areas and make sure that they look better. So right now I'm just trying to put some color in, and now let's put some pink in here. And in here I'm not going to add the white. I'm just going to leave it just like the pink, and I'm not putting it on top of the purple because I want actually to be pink. I don't want it to be blended with anything. Same here. So I'm going to go here. I want it actually to be pink because I want it to go from one color to the other. And then let's do this one right here. Put this one away, and let's get more. All of this is going to be redefined with pencils. I don't know if I'm saying it too much, but I just want to make sure that you know that because people might start freaking out at this point. And it's not the time to give up. This is not the time to give up. Remember, it's going to look ugly before it looks pretty. So just trust the process. Trust that you can do it. Be kind to yourself. And when we go to the pencil stage, I feel like that's the most fun part, the pencil stage, because that's when we start seeing definition. When we start feeling like everything is coming together. I'm not going to go all the way to the edges because that can be done with pencils. Now let's do the other side. And I'm going to move it a little bit so you can see. And I'm just going to do this. Just come a little bit in here. And by now you already know that you're working toward the inside. Let's put some pink in here. Let's mix it together. Let's put some purple in this. And I was doing it with the cleaner part of that. I know one part was already dirty, but I was doing it with the cleaner part. So let's continue here with more of the darker. And let's mix it in. Oh, my head is not coming through the to the camera. My hair. And now we'll do pink. And let's mix it in. And even if there is patchiness in here, that's not a big deal, because when we come in with the pencils, we're gonna define this hair. Okay, so there is her hair. And let's add a little bit of greenery to this. Not this. I'm gonna do this with pencils or alcohol markers, either way. But I'm gonna do a little bit of all pastels on these leaves and these ones. And so, because this is smaller areas, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I wish I had a lot more different greens. I don't. I'm waiting for my other set. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it here. Just a little bit. And we'll work it again. Same here. And then we'll do that here. Not all of them, because I think I'm going to do some of them purple. Now these big ones. And I'm just leaving a very light green. Okay, so we're going to pause here and we're going to let this dry. It needs to dry at least 2 to 3 hours for it to be able to take the pencils better. So I'm going to pause it, and when I come back, we'll put in the pencils. Okay, let's continue. She's dry. She's been sitting here for about 4 or 5 hours. So we're gonna start with the pencils. So let's start with the, oh, before I do this, yeah, I feel like it's good. Okay. Adding the darker areas here to the forehead, and then we're going to blend them. So with your hard pencil, I'm using soft oil. With your hard pencil, I'm using polychromos, and this is a 136. I'm going just soften here, and then I'm going to come and blend. I might have to add another type of pencil, because I don't think we have a very light pencil from this brand. So we are just adding the areas that are supposed to be dark. And then we're gonna try blending. Okay, so I'm bringing this lilac. I'm thinking it's gonna be good for from Color because I don't have one that's similar to this. I'm hoping it is. Let me see. If not, I'm gonna have to bring in a different one. It looks pretty similar. So I'm bringing this lilac from Color. And Color is not a very soft pencil. It's not a very hard either. So I think it's a good blend. And I'm really trying to use those colors because I haven't used them much. So it's just so I want blending of the two colors disappear. That's all I want to do. So let's try this one. And that way, if we need to use just color, that will be better for me. Let me see. It's like a good one. Yeah, very similar to the polychromos. I'm just gonna show you how I do it, but you could, you could go about it any way you want to in this section because this is just like any coloring that you will ever do as far as portraits, just the way you do any blending. I'm sure you guys already know how to do that. So I am not really trying to teach you how to color because I'm sure you already know how to do that. And it's just that this goes on top of my layer, very thin layer of sulfur pastels. It's just the blending of the definition and the sulfur pastels on top, underneath. So there. Now I think I'm gonna go ahead and bring me the rest of the colors that are gonna go with this. I'm gonna pick them up. I'm gonna stop it right here and then pick up my colors and then just bring you all my colors that will go with this. Okay, so I brought some pinks, some purples, some lilacs, and we'll see how we put this together. Need a tray, but I'm gonna right now put it like here and start picking up these colors. Okay, I think we'll start with the hair, which is gonna be like a nice purplish red. It's 148 in color. You know how to do this part. So I will talk in some of the parts and then be quiet because and some others because I think that I need to speed up this so we can have a good length of video. So I might speed up some parts. Not quite sure yet. It depends on how long it takes me to do this pencil part. Yeah, I'm going with a darker because I feel like the lighter one wasn't doing enough to bring life to this hair. So I'm going with a darker one. And that is 164 Bengal Rose from a Color set. I think my Color set is at 300 cent. This is 204 Light Rose Pink. And they do glide a little bit more than I wanted to. That's why I say that it's better to use a harder pencil. I might mix it with polychromos too. Let me see if I can find a good. Because the problem with polychromos is that they don't have that many colors. I mean, 120 said, I'm finding that some of this stuff they just don't have it. I'm hoping that when they come out with, yeah, it feels better. When they come out with the extra 20, oh, that will solve our issue of missing shades. When you know when it's dry, when you are coloring like this and you have debris and it's not sticking too much to the lighter part. Like you don't see it that it gets dirty. And I find that when I was doing the Erie page the other day, I'm not sure whether I didn't let it dry enough because the face that I was doing, it was getting really dirty. In fact, I had to redo the whole face because it got too dirty. And I feel like it's probably that I didn't let it dry enough. It might be. And it might have been that. I don't know. So it got really dirty. Also, I was using Prismacolors, which is a very waxy, but I had to because of Erie's books. You don't want to go with polychromos on those. This is looking better. I took a shower. Got my pajamas on because it's like 6. It's after 6, but I was so tired that I just wanted to relax, and I couldn't come in color if I was not feeling fresh again after a whole day of errands and stuff. I think I put too much perfume on because even I cannot stand myself right now. It's a new perfume that I got, and my cousin gave it to me for my birthday. I love it, but I think I put a little bit too much. And yes, I do put perfume on myself when I shower at night and when I shower in the morning. I love that's one of my obsessions. And then let's just be chatty here. One of my obsessions is perfumes. If I were to show you my collection of perfumes, and I bought most of them in the United States, and I brought them with me. Like that was one thing I wasn't going to leave home back in the USA. I love perfumes. I love good perfumes. something I really, really enjoy. So my family knows that, and they usually give me perfumes for my birthday or for Christmas. It's but like the reality is that I'm not that much in the know of perfumes since I've been living here in Colombia. I'm don't know that much. But what's new was I don't know. I haven't paid attention to. I mean, I brought so many that why would I need any more unless they're giving? I mean, they're giving to me, and I don't want to buy any more on my own. My daughter likes to give me perfumes. My cousin likes to give me perfumes, and I brought so many that I don't need. I don't need to buy anymore. Because I'm gonna be doing the same thing over and over for this hair, and so I'll come back once the hair is done. Okay, so the hair is done. I basically did the same thing that I have been doing, starting like, shading like darker color, and then lighter color, and then blend it all together. That's basically what I did. So let's finish her face and do her lips. So I want her lips to be like this color too. Let's start with her lips. So since this is not that big of an area, I can talk through it. Let's do it. Seems to be pretty much the same, so I'm gonna darken the edges. Then I'm going to darken the edges with this one. Blend it together with the lighter. Okay, so there are her lips. And now let's retouch her cheeks. I don't want it. I don't want to mess it up. So very light, very light. Your nose, your chin. Okay. Let's go over with this one. And if you start seeing streaks, remember you can always go over with a Q-tip and a little bit of a soap opera. So I feel like we need to do her. And this darker in this area here. And this and right now. Now let's give it a little more of a pink cheeks over here. I feel like it needs to be like that. Now let's darken this area right here in the ear. A little bit. Okay, over here. The good thing about Christine Karen is that she tells you where the shadows go. You don't have to guess that. She is putting them right where they belong. All you got to do is follow the path. You're good. That all the debris is from the sulfur pastels. Let's do her shoulder. Yes. Now let's do the sun-kissed shoulder here. Darken these areas right here where the leaves are. And anything goes. Remember, this is fantasy skin. So however you want to do it, it'll be okay. You don't have to follow any specific rule because it is fantasy skin. Yeah. Now let's do this part. Let's do her nails pinky. Okay, so it looks like her skin is pretty much done, which is what I wanted you to see. This is the fantasy skin and her hair. And I will finish it. And then once I do that, then I'll show you the finished product, just the whole thing. But right now the skin is completely done. Maybe let's work on the leaves here so that doesn't look like it's undone. So let's do that. Do that and let's do the scales right here. I don't know what type of fairy this little girl is. She certainly is very pretty. So yeah, let's continue with this. Yeah. It's a pretty fairy. Anyone knows what type of fairy she is? I could have done her all green, but I already done one all green, and I didn't want to repeat that. And my green fairy was so cute. I don't think I'll ever be able to top that. She's still my very best, very. I just absolutely love that one. Let's do this one. The scales, type of scales, like yeah, that was in the one. Like it was too light. It needed to go darker. No, I mean with the darker and then with the lighter one. Okay, much better. Much better. Now the rest, like this kind of scales, it's gonna be brown and purple. Okay, and there she is. Her skin is done. And once I finish, I will bring you the finished product and show you exactly what I did. But the skin, which is what I wanted you to show, is done. Okay, well, I finished it. You could see I did exactly the same thing that I've been telling you how to do. The soft all pastels first on the wings, so she's just now completely finished. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helpful. I'm here not really trying to teach you how to color. I'm just showing you how I do this technique with soft all pastels and how it has helped me come up with smoother skin with better results. I finished it with alcohol markers. You can see it in the back. Just the flowers were done with alcohol markers. Everything else is soft pastels as a base, and then pencils. This time I used color. I hope that you are able to create a very smooth, beautiful fantasy skin after watching this video, and I hope that the result is just as beautiful, and all it takes is just a little of practice. So I leave you here with this, just a closer up, is a little shiny. A little shiny. Let me see if I can, yeah. I hope the lights don't overshadow what's in here. And I really love the way it came out. I do spray my pages after working on them, just so the oil pastels doesn't transfer. I wait till it's completely dry. I wait till I had done all my pencil work. I leave it overnight and then I spray them. I heard some people do hairspray. I've never tried. I do a fixative. Let me bring it over here so you can see which one I use. Of course, this one I bought in Colombia, so I'm not sure whether you are able to get it in whatever neck of the woods you are. But I'll still show it to you. So, something on this line. And this one is almost done. I need to buy another one. But it's a fast drying artistic varnish and non-oil color. So since I take all the most of the soft oil pastel out and I just work with a very thin layer and then I let it dry, so there is not that much oil left. And so far none of the stuff that I had work with this technique has ever leaked to the back and stain anything. I think my alcohol markers has stained more than my soft oil pastels. Yeah. So hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it, and next week I'll show you another episode of Master Soft Oil Pastels. So bye, ciao.